How are you doing this? She's so happy. Oh my gosh, your mom beautiful art. I have to tell you, I spent my whole afternoon being a complete weirdo. Like, I'm selling all of these childhood toys. So I set up like a photo shoot.
Now I see them? Yes. Oh my god, stop it.
Anyone
That's
wants
like-
some American Girl dolls?
Buy a mirror.
I'm a crazy person.
Oh,
I'm a crazy person. For one of these holiday Barbies, it's like $20.
that's it?
I'm like, so I saved this
For
from
20?
1997 for $20. $20?
It literally is pristine.
Matt literally looked at me today and was like, how much money do you think you're gonna make from all of this? Like $200? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, I will give you $200 right now to go donate every single thing. And I was like, not a bad offer.
Okay. So some things I want to ask you about, and we'll just see where the conversation goes.
Okay.
I want to start with you and your career, because obviously you went from being an actor to a casting director. So I want you to talk a little bit about that. I feel
Well,
like you need to get more on the center.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I had intern in casting when I was in college. I had no idea that that it really was its own career. And so I started just like researching on the internet, looking up offices. I cold called a bunch of offices. Some were very kind, some were not. And I applied for a couple offices. I interviewed for 4 and I was offered internships at all of them.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is great. But I very specifically picked the 2 that said that they allowed their interns to do the most because I wanted real hands-on experience. So that's when I interned with Billy and Suzanne, Billy Hopkins and Suzanne Smith-Crowley.
So you
So-
were there and at the commercial office as well?
And at the commercial office.
At the same time?
At the same time.
So at that
So-
point, did you know the caliber of casting directors, like the kind of work that they were doing at that point?
Yeah, like I
So
had
there's-
discovered IMDb through my searching.
What a resource, I'll tell
What
you.
a resource. And I looked at their resumes and I thought, oh my God,
Yeah.
these people have worked on like crazy interesting things.
Can you just like say a couple of them?
Well, like I remember being very taken back by like Sex and the City
Yeah.
and Good Will Hunting and Seven and
Chocolat.
yeah, Chocolat and like all of these things that are like, oh my God, these people have been working on some movies that
Are our
you know,
favorites.
are our favorites. Like their resume was so extensive. I remember trying to print it out so that I would be able to like review it on the train into the city again, so that I would have like I would know exactly what I wanted to talk to everyone about. I could not print all of it, obviously.
Did you at any point feel like that was in conflict to your desire to be an actor?
No, not really, because my desire to be an actor was kind of waning. Like, I was discovering a lot of parts of myself that I had never discovered before, like my anxiety. I always got nervous before auditions, like in, high school, college, community theater, whatever. I always got nervous, but I was always able to like overcome that. When I graduated college, something really changed and turned for me. And I would get this like pit in my stomach, and I knew that I would be doing poorly.
Why do you think that happened? Because of the pressure? Because you wanted it so much?
I think it's because I was ill prepared for the whole audition process. So I'm a person that really needs a lot of preparation. I don't thrive under like not knowing what I might be stepping into. And I think there was also this, like, I had a lot of insecurity about myself at the time. Like, I had lots of issues with my skin, like horrible acne that came on to me later in college. Horrible. And so I knew that this camera was like in my face, and I didn't know how close it was to me. And all I could think about was like, is that pimple like visible? Or like, I really could not get over certain things like that to be able to brush it off of me.
Yeah.
And it was really hard. When I graduated college and I was working at the commercial office for a while, and I knew I didn't want to work in commercials. Like, I knew it. I was like, I really like this casting process, but commercials is
Not your thing.
not my thing. So after doing that for a while, I called Christie Street and was like, "Do you guys need an intern? I had interned for you a while ago."
So did that give you anxiety to call them and make that call?
No.
That's interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Why do you think that you love it so much? Like, what is it about that process?
I think casting, it marries both parts of my brain. So it puts like the creative part of my brain that like enjoys scene study and enjoys working with actors and enjoys that, all of that, with like this kind of business sense of my brain that's like, well, let's negotiate for a better deal here.
Well, and you're very organized, as we saw by the dolls.
And I am the most anal retentive human. I was really okay with letting it go.
Yeah, but I think that just shows that...
And it shows that it's not the path for me. I also was
But
like...
it was the path because it took you to being a casting
Exactly.
director.
It brought me to my path.
Exactly.
So I'm incredibly thankful for that. And I think like all of the experiences that I've ever had as like actor self, I think help me when I'm with actors in the room. Because I get it. I really get it. I really, really get it.
All of that experience has made you not only the talented casting director that you are, but also the empathetic.
Thank you.
I can't tell you how many times I've been in a room with you where it's like, I think you just put everybody at ease. What makes you the most excited when you're in the room with an actor?
You know, I think overall, I just really love working with each individual actor, and I love seeing everybody's take on the role. Because no matter how big or small the role is, every person has a different take. And it's like sometimes it's the smallest little nuance where I'll think, I would have never thought of it like that. And someone brings that in, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
And that's just inherently who they are. You know, the hardest days sometimes are days where like, we have these audition sessions and every actor we see is just hitting it one after another, and they are all so good. And I've literally turned to Billy and I say like, my heart hurts today because I love all of these people.
Yeah.
And it's so hard because it's like, it's just, it could be any of them for a variety of reasons.
It's
So
interesting
it's tough.
because I remember being a reader at Christie Street and with Billy and you. And weirdly, that's made the auditioning process easier for me, where I'm like, everyone's actually good. Like, the casting directors aren't really complaining about anybody once they leave. So it's just a matter of taste. It's what somebody's feeling in that particular moment in time.
It literally,
and it takes the pressure off.
All it comes down to is like what the creator, whether that's the director, the writer, a producer, however they envision the role, that person, that actor's essence marries with it. That's what it is. And that is something inherently that someone either has with them or they don't have. So it has nothing to do really with your acting ability. It becomes this kind of like nebulous thing where it's so far out of an actor's individual hands that if I feel like how you know that now, if more actors knew that, maybe it would provide a lot more people solace to know that they're coming into the room to just do good work.
Wow, we've been talking for 40 minutes. Before we finish, I want to know, what is one of the most exciting projects that you've gotten to work on? Why? And what does it make you feel?
I really love all of the projects we work on for very different reasons, but I think the one that will always have a special place in my heart is when we did When They See Us. Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Because I mean, I'm so grateful that we were able to work on that project with Aisha Coley brought us on. She was doing, she's the casting director and works with Ava and everything. And Ava DuVernay. And she reached out to us to see if we were available, and we were available. It's such an important story that that like every day we would go into our office space and it was always remembering how important the story is and telling it as authentically as possible. And so that was incredible, because it wasn't like we weren't working under the guise of like, this is going to be such a big deal, or, oh, the accolades or whatever. It was, no, these men, like, we need to do our due diligence to tell the story for these men that this happened to.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
Just to clarify, When They See Us, it's about Central Park 5 and the young boys who were accused of raping the runner.
Yeah, they were
wrongfully
accused.
Wrongfully accused and went to jail and served time despite being 100% innocent.
Yeah, they were absolutely innocent. It was a horrible thing
It like gives
that
you
happened in
chills
New
to
York.
think about.
It was horrible, and they were all so young. And I think the worst part of the story is Corey Wise, who was tried as an adult. And so at a very young age, he went to Rikers. When you think of what was like kind of taken away from them at that time, but I mean, I had the privilege to meet some of them at like a table. You were at the table
I
read?
was at the table
you were at the
read.
table read.
And
yeah.
when they walked in, and so we were at a table read with all of the Netflix executives and Ava, the director,
Yeah.
and then the actual, you know, the men walked in, and I don't think there was a dry eye in that room.
No, I mean, you could literally hear a pin drop. The story was bigger than the project. And it's about, you know, really having respect for telling someone's story. Aisha, Billy, and I, we won an Emmy for it. Yeah, that was crazy.
Huge.
Crazy.
I
Yeah.
remember you showing us your outfits and what you were going to wear.
I
and you were
know.
breaking it down. So I was
I
like,
know.
this gal.
Very thankful. We actually
Killed
were
it.
in auditions for another project when we found out we were nominated.
Wait, really?
So funny.
Wait.
It happened for the same thing with the Independent Spirit Award when we won the Robert Altman for Mudbound.
Yes.
We were in auditions, and suddenly I get this email that's like, "Congrats on your Emmy nom." And I was like, "What?" And then I like kind of disregarded it because I was like, whatever. And then I get
How
another.
did you dismiss that?
Because in my head I was like, this has to be fake. Like, is this real? This has to be fake. And so then there was an actor in the room, whatever, or, you know. So I was like, okay. And so then we get another email, and I was like, Billy, were we all just nominated for an Emmy? And he was like, I don't know. And then I was like, I think we were. And he was like, well, Google it.
I love how you have to Google whether or not you were nominated.
Well,
for
that's the same thing that happened with the Robert Altman. We were in audition sessions. Audition session ends. I opened my computer up, and there's like, congratulations. And I was like, what is this? And I was like, Billy, did we win an award? And he was like, I don't know. Did we?
Okay, so
It's
tell me
so
all the
funny.
awards that you won that are. I want you to brag about yourself for a second.
Okay, I feel a little uncomfortable. But
That's okay. This is good. We
Yeah.
gotta celebrate each other's wins.
It's true.
And this is
so I have won with Billy the Robert Altman Independent Spirit Award for casting Dee Reese's Mudbound. Then we won the Emmy Award, Aisha Coley, Billy, and myself for When They See Us. We won an Artios Award for When They See Us. We also won an Artios Award for casting a play at the Mark Taper Forum, Sweat, with Heidi Levitt.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just won another Artios Award for the United States versus Billie Holiday, the Lee Daniels film with Leah in LA. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just cheers to that. Because at your very young age, you're killing it, my dear.
Trying every day. Trying.
Love you.
I love you.
Okay, I think we talked for 51 minutes.
Ah!
Bye!